Yes! Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is going to be another shotgun video on the Destiny beta. I must admit, I kind of meant to do this before I went off the BronyCon, but things kind of got chaotic and out of hand and everything like that. So anyway, I think I want to talk briefly about the Destiny beta, because it was awesome. It was awesome. It's like, I think the thing that impressed me the most about the Destiny beta was that this was a beta. It's like there were times I forgot that this was a beta. It felt like almost like a full game. I mean, yeah, you could only go up to level 8 and things like that. There were obviously, I think there was only 4 multiplayer maps. I must admit, I usually didn't. I wasn't too interested in multiplayer, particularly because the first time I tried it, it had lag. But I think that was my fault and my internet connection, not Destiny's fault. But it was a pretty cool game, and I think it was cool. It's in a way, it's a massive departure from Halo. I mean, but at the same time, I feel like there could still be a few Halo-ish kind of elements here and everything. I mean, it has an interesting mix of so many different things. I like that. I mean, I just liked it. It was really fun. I mean, there was, and I think it has the big thing that made Halo successful. It has something for everybody. You know, I think that's the big success. I mean, its game mechanics are kind of interesting, but complicated at the same time. The classes are sort of, I know we don't want to discuss the classes because I was only interested in one class, the Titan, basically the warrior guys, I guess, you know, they've got armor, they got stuff, they don't have any magical abilities or whatever like that, if that's what you want to call it, but they have big armor and guns and stuff. I must admit, I've missed you, my caster. Because oh dear, I hope that wasn't too creepy or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely fan of really big long guns and stuff like that, and DMRs. I mean, that's that one thing that I kind of didn't like about, like, they've renamed everything like pulse rifle. It's like, I almost thought, like, is this like an energy burst rifle? It's like, no, it's basically, it's a burst weapon and everything like that. And yeah, sometimes that gets kind of confusing, like scout rifle. It's like, it's not a scout rifle, it's called it's a DMR, designated marksman rifle, but whatever. But yeah, but obviously things are different. It's a weird mix of sort of medieval, it's like a mix of medieval, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic world and everything. It's like a mix of just about everything. But yeah, I mean, interestingly, I think all the classes can use any weapon they want, I think. So that's kind of interesting in itself. It's like it seems like only like their special abilities and things change that. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. It's simple but complicated at the same time is sort of how I feel about the class mechanics and some of their other mechanics, which I think is good. You know, it's relatively straightforward. I mean, I do like the fact that on some guns on some weapons you can actually change the sights and everything and customize it a little bit and everything. And I think it's a good game. I mean, it's a good game. It's simple. It's fun. It's straightforward. I mean, I do like the fact that it's rated T. It's like there hasn't been, like, I think a AAA rated game or whatever it is that was rated T in like forever. It's like the last Call of Duty that was rated T was Call of Duty 3. I think all the way back in, I think, like 2008 maybe. That was a long time ago. Oh. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a game that's, you know, not blood, guts, and stuff everywhere. I mean, I must admit, it's still kind of creepy. What is it, The Fallen, or whatever it is? Like, they have that one moment in, like, this one room where it's like, it's all black, and all you have is the thing in front of you. You can hear the zombies coming at you, going, "Rah!" and everything. It's pretty scary and everything. Like, oh no, run! Oh dear, and of course, they had to have, like, a zombie jump in front of you or something like that at one point. It's like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was kind of scary, but otherwise, it's really not that bad. It's kind of nice to have a game that isn't trying to give me nightmares. What can I say? I play games that have fun, not drive myself insane or give me nightmares and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I like the game. I like that. It's interesting that the worlds are they're massive. They're huge. They're just simply huge, and there's usually stuff going on and stuff everywhere. I mean. Yeah, I mean, the universe itself is an interesting universe because it's sort of, yeah, obviously it's a post-apocalyptic world. Things are bad. It's like, things are kind of bad right now, and things are going to get a lot worse. But somehow, there's hope. I don't know why. That's the feeling I get from this universe. It's like there's somehow things are bad, they're gonna get worse, but somehow there will be hope. I don't know why. I like the Ghost. I don't think he actually has an official name. He's just the Ghost, you know, or something like that. Yeah, he's not what I was expecting him to be. I was expecting him to be, you know, a computer. It's like, yes sir, no sir. It's like he feels much more like an AI. I mean, more like, excuse me, an AP, an artificial personality. See, AI just means it's intelligent. AP is like it's more like a person, or something like that. Artificial personality or artificial person, if you want to be. Anyway. It's really funny. It's like, I think it's like the moon mission that you got to play one day. It's like, I think we should step back away from the door that's about to open and probably have. I think we should step back because I think he knows that, oh, there's probably going to be a hordes of enemies coming out from the door once it opens. So I think we should back away. I like that. Yeah, there was some. I think the story was kind of interesting. I mean, this is just the beta. There's only a couple missions. The story wasn't particularly interesting. I mean, or it wasn't in depth. I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't explained. Like, they don't explain who the Fallen are, or the Hive, or what these enemies are. I believe there was a Game Informer magazine somewhere that's explained what these were, which I frankly ignored because I don't want spoilers. But obviously, it's a beta. There probably will be things like that describe this. I mean, there might be big long cutscenes or something that were not in this beta that we might see in the full game. I must admit, I do remember that they did commit quote-unquote one video game sin, is that you can't skip the cutscenes. It's like a video. There's like an unofficial list of video game sins, and that's one of them. Maybe the first time you see it, you shouldn't be able to skip it, but anytime you like replay a mission, you go to that big. Some of the. I watched the second mission where you go and get the hyperdrive, the hyperdrive, whatever it is, the jump drive or something for your ship. I played that mission a couple of times. Like, I saw that in cutscene quite a few times, and I wish I could have skipped it. It was nice though. It was nice. I liked it though. That's a minor thing. It's okay. Yeah. I mean, overall, I think it was interesting. One problem that they do have with the big missions, like there's the big mission in like the old Russia place. I don't know, like the final mission where you go and destroy the big robot thing or whatever it is. It's like you really need 3 people. You can't do it by yourself. You'll get your butt kicked, or you'll slog through it and it won't be any fun. Because I remember one time, you know, the first time I tried it, I don't think I might have been fully leveled up or something like that. I tried to go in this, and like, you know, I started off with 3 people, but then at some point they just left, and now I'm trying to fight all these guys by myself, and I'm getting my butt kicked, and this isn't any fun, and I'm just gonna go and give up and try this later. Yeah, I think I wasn't fully leveled up at that point, but you know, regardless, like, there's no way that you could have completed that mission by yourself. Maybe if you were like substantially leveled up more, you might be able to, but even so, it wasn't any fun. That was the other thing, is that they don't explain certain things. Like, for example, like there's this big walking tank thing that you have to go fight at the middle. It's sort of like the middle part of that level. It's like they don't give you any instructions on how to destroy it. It's like eventually I learned that, oh, you got to shoot its leg so that it falls down, and then it like opens up its core, and then you can shoot that, and then that does some actual damage to it. Again, it's a beta. There might or may not be levels or things that will tell you how to do that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's definitely the biggest problem they have with these kind of co-op games, is that if you don't have 3 people playing with you and supporting you, you're going to get slaughtered. I mean, the problem is that you could get 3/4 of the way through a mission, and then people will just drop out, or stuff happens, their connection fails or whatever. Now you're by yourself facing this level that you really need 3 people to do. I mean, you can back out and try again and hope that 3 people will stay with you, but no, that kind of bites though. You know, some of those levels are fairly long, and to go back and have to go fight all the way through them again just to get to this point, and you could lose those same 3 people at the exact spot again. That's going to be an issue for them. I hope they fix that. I hope they find a way to deal with that in some way, because that's definitely a serious issue that they're going to have with this game, I think. But otherwise, it was a really good game. I mean, the exploration was cool. I mean, again, the levels are massive. They're huge. They're just simply huge and massive. And I mean, this is why you need the Sparrow. You need the floating hover bike thing to get around, because It's just their levels are just simply that big. I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, is there going to be just one of these per, like, planet? Is there only one of these on planet Earth? Is there going to be more? There probably is going to be more. Certainly probably on planets like Earth, because, yeah, it was kind of interesting. They picked old Russia for that. I mean, I think that's kind of symbolic in a way, because Russia was the first people to get a man into space, so I think that's probably the reason for that, and that's kind of interesting. I mean, this whole story is... I like the story. I like it. It's interesting. I mean, it's kind of sad. I mean, it's like, we don't know what the darkness is, or where it's from, or what it wants, or what it's doing, or what happened. I mean, just like, what... Like, in the first cutscene, what happened? What's going on in this scene? I kind of want to think about that, because, like, there's all these rusted old cars here, and sadly, remains of people that were in them are still there. After centuries and centuries and centuries of lying there dead. It's like, whatever happened, whatever killed these people, it's like, whatever it was very sudden, very violent, but it didn't destroy the buildings or the cars. Whatever it was, it appears that it affected only organics, because again, none of the other buildings were destroyed. It wasn't like they got nuked, or, you know, or like in Halo, they were, you know, plasma beamed to death. Whatever it was something completely different. It wasn't like a giant bomb. It was something else, which could be even, I don't know, that could be even scarier than I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I like the first line that the ghost says to you is like, "You've been dead for a long time." Wait, what? I'm dead? No! I don't want to be dead. You're telling me I'm dead? Oh, I hope this isn't the afterlife, because this kind of bites. Oh no! I mean, that would be an interesting thing to think. It's like, you know, this character, it's like, this poor guy. I mean, that's the everything. It's like, you're this guy, you've just been in a way revived, or you've been resurrected somehow by this robot, and now you've been thrust into this pretty bad world, all things considered, and now there's like, okay, here's a rifle, go fight the bad guys. It's like, hey, wait a minute, who said I wanted to go fight the bad guys? Maybe I'll go over there and just, you know, go buy a house somewhere and just be happy that I'm not dead. I mean, that would be an interesting thing. That would be an interesting dilemma as well. It's like, really, you've just been revived and you're dead. Now all of a sudden you're not dead and stuff. It's like, what's going on? Again, I think some of that is the beta thing as well. Is that it's maybe they'll have more stuff that deals with that, because it does seem kind of odd. I mean, it's like, sure, okay, sure, I'll go fight the bad guys, sure. I don't know, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, we wouldn't necessarily but at the same time, it does seem kind of odd that you just, yeah, I mean, it's like, why should I have to go fight the bad guys? I don't know. There might be a little bit of an issue there. I mean, I don't know. Or, again, it's probably something, it's a beta. There might be more stuff there. There might be more dialogue and things and whatever, and something that says why this person would all of a sudden just simply just go and, you know, pick up a rifle and go fight the bad guys. I mean, but anyway, after being introduced to this world they know nothing about. It'd be like dropped into a foreign country you've never been a part of, and basically being told to go join the military. Here's a rifle, go fight the bad guys. It's like, wait a minute, I don't know anything about you or what's going on, or why should I do that? I don't know. That's sort of in a way a minor thing. It's just I just think that's just interesting and unusual and everything. Which is, but yeah, this is an interesting universe. I don't think I've seen a universe quite like this one, because yeah, things are pretty bad, but things are not totally bad. You know, I mean, yeah, most of Earth's been taken over by aliens and stuff, but there is one safe city in the whole of this place, which is cool. And the Traveler is interesting. I mean, yeah, the Traveler, again, I must admit, the Traveler is interesting, because I must admit, I don't trust the Traveler. Again, we don't know anything about the Traveler, where it's from, what it's here, what's it doing here. It's like, why is the Traveler here? Why did the Traveler come to Earth? And why is it protecting the city? What's in it for the Traveler? Why is the Traveler doing this? As far as we've been told, that humanity has never had direct communication with the Traveler, so I think the Traveler is almost certainly on our side and is trustworthy, but I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. There's no it's sort of we're probably. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure they're going to do something big with the Traveler at some point. The Traveler is somehow going to get directly involved, or we're going to have to resurrect the Traveler, or something. I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it'll just simply be interesting. Never interesting thought is like, okay, that in the opening cutscene. The very first cutscene, the very beginning of it, is like, okay, humans land on Mars. They're carrying M4 carbines. Why are they carrying weapons to Mars? That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to assume that they knew the Traveler was there and they were going to go and investigate the Traveler. It's sort of, when I think about it, it's like, what's the point of bringing weapons to this thing? I mean, if this thing is filled with aliens or something, like, you're not going to be able to fight them all off with just 3 people. It's like you're going to get your butt kicked regardless, so why bring them? I don't know. Maybe we'll find an answer to that as well. I mean, I just thought that was kind of odd, but it was cool. I mean, that the graphics are fairly impressive. I don't know if they're massively impressive, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And I think it does look sort of next gen. I don't know. That's a bit. Graphics to me aren't so important as long as they're not subpars, and as long as they don't look bad. I'll be happy for the most part. I mean, it would be nice to see games that really do push the graphics a lot higher than the 360 and the other systems, because otherwise, what was the point of buying this console to begin with? I mean, the answer to that is probably processing power, being able to do more, being able to put more things and more terrain and more textures. Maybe not necessarily better textures, but more of them out there and everything like that. Like having being able to fight more enemies at once and everything like that might be the answer to that. But overall, I liked the Destiny beta. It was really cool. I played it almost obsessively because I wanted to try it as much as I could. And in a way, yes, serve the gaming community by trying to bring the Destiny servers to their knees and try to break it, because that's the point of game testing is to break it, is to bring the game to its knees and find where will it break, and then find ways to make sure that it doesn't break when you put it onto the full release and everything like that. Because yeah, I mean, my favorite, I think the it's like the other kind of thing that was interesting was that, you know, the Bungie comment on their site is that they were that basically they were tracking everybody's moves. They knew where you were, what you did, and everything. And obviously they're doing that as part of what betas are all about, is gathering this kind of information and everything like that. And I find this funny because I think on the last couple days, I played it a lot. I was kind of like, I don't really want to do this anymore, but I still kind of want to, you know, in a way, you know, help them load test. I mean, I call it load testing, but they call it scale testing, because the whole point of load/scale testing is to see what happens when you have thousands and millions of people playing your game at once. Because yeah, in-house, maybe get a couple hundred people playing at once, not a problem. When you put 10,000, 100,000, a million people on the system, will it crack? That's where the crunch comes, and it's really difficult to do that in testing. That's exactly why you have betas, so that you can do those kinds of testing. So I kind of had enough to a point, because I've been playing it obsessively. So I just put the thing into the loading screen and just you were in orbit or whatever, and just left it there and just left it running. Because Xbox had also done an update where, you know, they're supposed to give you a message when your battery is about to go or something like that. So so I wanted to do that one. So I wanted to see if that worked as well. So I just left the thing running all day, and it's like, I bet you the developers might have looked at this and said, this guy was in the loading screen for like 3 hours. What's wrong with him? Or in the tower, I'd put my character there and I put him in, I hit him in the flower. I hit him in like the plants and on the thing, and just like looking out over at the Traveler and like just sitting there. It's like, again, this guy hasn't moved in an hour. What's wrong with him? But the good news, that was actually sort of testing it as well, because yeah, you're in the server, you're in the system, you're basically in a way putting load on that server, even though you're not technically doing anything there. So that was cool. Multiplayer was, I did actually play some of the multiplayer. I actually did okay. I actually kind of liked that mode that they picked, the, whatever it is, I forget what it is. Control is like, basically, you know, hold the area and everything like that. I liked that, because that was sort of semi-tactical. I mean, I actually did fairly well in that once I figured out where to go and where to, you know, hold down a couple good positions and everything like that. And I think that was good. That was fun. I liked that. I think it's pretty good. I mean, it seems to be straightforward. It's just nice. I mean, it's got an interesting twist to it, because obviously it's got all these weird magical abilities and the, you know, basically the instant death, slam your fist on the ground and massive energy fields of destruction in all direction things, which is kind of cool. It's also kind of annoying to me, but I don't know. I think overall multiplayer was pretty good, and I enjoyed it. I actually won a few games and everything, so that was cool. And I actually had some fun, so that was cool. So overall, Destiny was awesome, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing the full game and everything like that. The only thing I kind of don't like about it is that it's another one of these. It's like Titanfall. It's online all the time. Maybe the full version will be a little bit different. That maybe you'll be able to play some of the story stuff offline. I wouldn't bet on it, though, that if you don't have an internet connection, you won't be able to do anything with this game. I honestly don't like that. I think that's a bummer. That was the other thing. This thing was massive. This was just a beta, and it's 12 gigs. It's like one story. It's like 2 story levels and 4 multiplayer maps. Yikes, 12 gigs. That's terrifying. I think if they're going to make new versions of the new consoles, they're going to need bigger hard drives. Like, much bigger hard drives. Or you got to be deleting games every so often, which is kind of annoying in all honesty. Because it's not a trivial thing to copy, you know, a game onto a console, you know, everything. It kind of is a bummer, because it's like, it sort of negates the point of having consoles. Like, that's the benefit of a console. You can just pop a disc in and just play. Whereas if on a PC or something, you got to go install it and all that stuff. It's not a big deal, but it takes time and everything like that. But, you know, it's still pretty cool. I mean, I think those are my big drawbacks of the Destiny. The drawbacks are, yeah, definitely that's online all the time. It's going to be massive. It's just going to be huge. So get ready. So clean up your hard drive. You might need quite a significant part of it. And the cooperative things, I kind of like cooperative stuff. But the problem is that if those people leave in the middle of a story mission, you're basically done. Because in theory, it should adjust. It should figure out eventually that you're by yourself, and it'll like limit the number of enemies so that you stand a chance of being able to fight this by yourself, because otherwise that really bites, because it's like otherwise you have to go back and play the whole thing over again and hope that the people don't drop out or something halfway through the mission. I think that's going to be a serious problem for them. But otherwise, this game is really good. It's really rich in things. I mean, it was kind of annoying that you didn't get to do a whole lot. Like, you didn't get to customize the colors of your armor. It's a minor thing, but it would have been nice to have been able to do. You got to see all these weapons that you didn't get to touch, because you could only go to a certain level before everything. Things weren't really explained all that well. Again, it's a beta. It's beta, so, you know, they're not gonna. I mean, again, that was the thing that was impressive about this game, is that it feels like a full-on game. It doesn't feel like a beta. It feels like a full-on game. It just would have been nice to have been able to do a little bit more, maybe progress a little bit more than we were allowed to. But otherwise, I think it was really good. It was really good. It was fun. I mean, what we did get. I mean, the weapons were really nice. Again, the weapons are an odd mix of sort of modern sci-fi stuff. They all felt really good. They all have their advantages and disadvantages, and they just feel really good and satisfying. It is kind of annoying that the higher level weapons will absolutely destroy some enemies, and the lower ones will barely touch them, and it's sort of like... But, oh well, that's the whole point of leveling up weapons anyway, so I guess... but yeah, I mean... the game was pretty interesting. I definitely look forward to playing the full version of it. I think it's going to be pretty awesome, and I look forward to it. I'm glad to see that Bungie's making games again and proving that they can make games other than Halo. I mean, I think this is obviously a big departure for them. It's a sort of an RPG shooter thing. It's like a mix of everything, which I think is what makes this game so interesting. It is a mix of everything. I mean, it's got depressing elements, sad elements, but I'm not gonna say I was gonna say not necessarily happy moments, but sort of hopeful moments. It's like there's hope for us yet. I don't know why I feel that way. I just think that. I just seem to get that feeling, I guess, for some reason. I mean, And I think it's gonna be a very heroic game and everything, which I think Bungie's very good at. I mean, obviously Master Chief is an excellent heroic character, even though we've never really known what his character or anything is like. He's a really cool character that and everything like that. And it's gonna be cool to have your own character here, and it'll be interesting how they haven't fully shown how they said that you were gonna. I think they said that you were gonna be able to change like your character class somewhere in the middle or something, or do something like that. So if you pick the wrong class or something at the beginning, you don't have to go back and like restart or something. I think they said something like that. They said they were going to do something with that. I don't know what. I mean, that's another interesting thing with this, is that you can have multiple characters, and these characters can share different abilities and share different weapons and inventory things, so you can pick up something. So if you have like old guns that you don't really want, you can give them to like put them in like the vault, which I don't think was functioning, or if it did, I couldn't figure out how to make it work, and give them to a lower character, so that when you start a new character, you can get you could start off with a decent weapon that you didn't like for the lower levels, but on the higher levels you didn't like it, but on the lower levels it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't think I'm going to probably make too many other characters of other classes, because I think I like the Titan. The Titan just seems cool. I don't know. Again, I think I'm rambling on. My brain is malfunctioning, and I'm just rambling on now. So anyway, Destiny was really cool. Destiny beta was really cool. I will have to say that I wish the World of Tanks beta had done even a quarter as best as this, because the World of Tanks beta, which I was a part of, went on for 7 months longer than it should have. I'm a programmer. I understand that. That happens. Things happen. It's like we think that this was gonna work, but it didn't, and it all went bang very loudly rather than working. Ugh, it happens. But even so, I mean, I will say I'm not gonna beat on Wargaming. I think that Wargaming handled that very, very poorly. They didn't communicate too well and everything, and I'm just gonna leave that there. But on the upside, they did fix everything. They're trying their best to communicate better, and they're doing much better. And yes, Wargaming is like, I was pretty mad at you for a while, but I think you're doing a good job now. So yo, that's the end. That's the important part, is that you learn and you figure things out and you make things right and you fix everything. And I think they've done that very well. Anyway, yeah, and I wish that this had gone, that World of Tanks beta had done a quarter as well as this, because this game worked solidly. I mean, it just simply worked solidly, even though it's a beta. I mean, I did like the fact that they did admit that there will probably be breakages. Things will break. You'll probably lose your connection. Things will break. Things will malfunction. It's like, this is a beta. I mean, I understand it's a beta. Things will break. But the thing in the World of Tanks beta was that things that fundamentally should not have broken, like the menus, did not work. Basically, it's like you unlocked a tank and it wouldn't load. Those things are unacceptable in beta. You know, even those kind of things are just simply unacceptable in beta. But the good news is, World of Tanks eventually released, and it was fine, and it's good, and it's working. But yeah, the thing is, there were none of these issues in Destiny, and in the Destiny beta. That it worked. You know, it worked pretty flawlessly in my end. I mean, I think I had maybe one crash. I think I got kicked out maybe a couple times, but that's okay. Again, it's a beta, and for the most part, it worked solidly. I mean, it just simply worked solidly, and way to go to Bungie for that. I mean, yeah, towards the end, there were queues. I mean, I almost hope that these were forced by the developers, and that they forced these queues, because for the most part, I hadn't encountered those queues. I hadn't encountered a line. Basically, you try to log on the server. It's like, okay, you're 1,705 in line or something like that, and that means that you have to wait for, I guess, a certain amount. I mean, that's kind of not very helpful. Okay, that's nice, but that doesn't tell me, approximately how long I have to wait or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, that you were in line. I hope that was forced, that they were forcing the situation to test how that worked out, because that would be kind of a bummer that you can't even log into the system and even just look at your characters. You have to basically wait in line for that. That's certainly the big negative to online-only games like that, because yeah, you can't even go to the loading. Like when Titanfall basically crashed on its first launch day, it's like, and people were just locked out of it. It's like, you can't even go to the menu and just look at the menu. it's been disabled and stuff like that. You just can't go because all that's online. Again, I hope the full version of Destiny is not completely, online, that it will be partially offline. I don't think it will be. I'm pretty certain it will definitely, almost certainly be completely online, so that if you don't have internet connection, you won't even be able to go to, to the menu orbit screen and look at your characters and adjust them or anything like that, which is honestly kind of annoying to me, but it's okay. That's fine. It's like, not everything is about the internet. We don't need to be connected to the internet all the time and everything. And sometimes I just want to play this game by myself and just relax and stuff. The good news is, for the most part, I think you can do that. You can play this game by yourself and still enjoy it, even, and everything like that. There's certainly certain missions where you have to have 3 people to go play them if you want to live and not slog through it. But whatever. But overall, the Destiny beta was solid. It worked really good. It worked very well. I mean, it didn't, for the most part, did not crash and burn. Everything worked. Again, it felt like if you didn't tell me that this was a beta, I would almost not know that this was a beta. It felt almost like a full game. It had a couple issues from there time to time, which, like, even full games after beta sometimes have them. But otherwise, it worked solidly, and it worked well, and it worked good. It did everything that it wanted to accomplish, and it was awesome, and it was cool, and most of all, it was really fun. This is the thing that I think annoys me about some game developers. They forget that at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. It's about playing a game it's just enjoyable and fun to play. And again, it's nice to have one of these that's rated T for once. It means that you don't have that. I mean, yeah, people buy M-rated games for their 12-year-olds all the time, but it's nice that for once you're not going to have to technically, you're going to be able to do that, with a good conscience in a way, or something. I don't know. I can't figure out what to say about that. It's like, I just think that's nice. It's rated T. It's like, that's like never happened in ages. A game like this be rated T. That's just so awesome. That's cool. And I just think overall it was really good, and I think I've definitely rambled on enough about this. I'm really happy for the Destiny for the Destiny beta and Team Bungie and everybody. That it was just so nice to see something that works and works well, and it was fun and it was interesting, and it's very different. It's not another military shooter or another sci-fi horror shooter. It's not another one of these. It's different, it's original, it's interesting. It's based in things that we kind of know but are slightly different, and it's just really good and just really nice, and it's going to be a lot of fun to play, and I'm looking forward to it. And the best part is, it's essentially a month away from now, so we don't have that long to wait. Yes. yes. Fine. I'm losing my mind, I tell you. Someone please help me. All right. I've definitely rambled on enough about this, so I hope you might have found this interesting, and as always, thank you for commenting, watching, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.